Wagwan, everyone. I hope you're doing well and welcome back to another stream up on Tereak Talks. Guys, it's been a while. I've missed you all. If you don't know, we have just created a Discord server as well. The link is in the description below if you haven't joined in already. People would love to have you on board, but as you can see from the thumbnail and title of this video, we're going to be playing our all-time Premier League 11, but in the draft format. But before I do this, before I get started, people, let me bring my guests in and then we'll go through some of your comments and then we'll describe we'll go through the rules and everything like that. But let me bring in my co-host, the usual Edmin himself. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, all good. I'm going pen and paper. I'm going old school with this because I'm going nostalgic. Full nostalgia from me.
That's what we like to hear. We got another guest. His first appearance on the channel. We've got two first timers on this channel, but you may have seen them elsewhere, Eagle Eyed Football and other channels. We've got Matt. How you doing, bro?
How's it going, man? Thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to this.
Exactly. If the people don't know what team do you support, they would have seen you in the comments.
Everton. The less said about that, the better, man. Less said about that, the better.
Yeah, we won't be talking.
We're going back in time. We're going back in time for this, not present day, thankfully.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah.
Yes. So we talk about good times, you know. But
yeah.
I was going to mention players then, but I can't be giving anything away. And then finally, his first time on the channel. You'd have seen him in the chat. Always, you know what usually comes in first.
With the popcorn
can. Yep. There's a little hint for you guys. It is Brush. How you doing, my bro?
Hey. Thank you very much for having me on.
No worries, man. Anytime. You know what? I've been looking forward to this because I'm Matt. I don't know how old you are, but I know I'm the youngest here. So I'm going to be getting a footballing lesson. And those of you in the chat, I know some of you are younger than me, but a lot of you are older than me as well. So you were like, Tereak, what's this team? You know what I mean? But we'll see. I'll show you that I do know football. This will be another thing that I can try and show. But big up to everyone in the chat. We've got Jay in here. Big up, man. We've got Hanif. We've got Bobby in the place. G Staffy herself. Tishi. We've got Rich telling me Tereak is actually ready. Hashtag Baymed. Realist is in the place. Hope you're keeping well. Louis in here. Paxton's in here. Hope you're keeping well, Paxton. Would love you in the Discord server, so make sure you join in. The link is in the description below. Vibes is in here, and to anyone else who hasn't joined. I know Matt's not in there yet, but Matt, you'll have to come in, man. I know you love to break the football news.
I'm here already, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Vibes, leave me alone now in this video. Don't be giving me any stick now. I've had enough off you for the last 2 weeks.
He has been. I've been seeing it. Big up CM in here as well. Munzi's in here. Oh, insane Stato. Love that. Big up yourself, Munzi. We've got Josh in here as well. So Moss is in here too. Hope you're keeping well, Moss. But guys, this is going to be an interesting one now. Let's go through the rules and everything if you aren't familiar. We did do this before. CM, Roland, Rich were on the channel as well when we did for current Premier League draft. So we're going to follow the same format, but it's going to be, difficult in terms of what it's going to be in the all-time. It's not going to be your typical all-time Premier League draft. And when we go through the rules, these guys will let you know. I hit them with the shot this morning, and it kind of left them bamboozled. All the hate messages I was getting, it was relentless. But if you want to know what a Premier League draft is, each person will choose a player or manager. So we are having managers in for this as well. At the time, you decide in the chat, all of you guys, will put a poll up at the end, who's the best team, who has the best team. And I want you guys
to... the place again.
Definitely. What was that, bro? Oh, yeah, you're back. Play along in the chat and comments, people, if you haven't. You know what? It's a little bit of fun in this international break. So, guys, here are the rules. There is one pick per round, and the last person in each round will get their first pick. So, for example, if I had the first pick, we'll go down to Brush, and Brush is the last pick. He will start off that round again, and it will go back up from Brush to Matt to Edmin, and back to me. Then me, I'll get a second pick. Edmin, Matt, Brush, vice versa. But yeah, we'll sort out the orders. I'll change the things around on screen so it makes it easier for you guys to follow. So you pick a starting 11 and the manager, and there is a maximum of 2 picks per club. Managers count as a pick. So if you pick an Alex Ferguson, that means you can only have one Manchester United player. But Paxton, that's it. That's it. If you do pick one of these top managers, it kind of leaves you in a sticky situation. So yeah, you're gonna have to be kind of risk versus the reward in those things. But you know what? I know the guys have been planning a lot today. And then yeah, choose your own formation as well, guys. And in regards, because Matt actually asked a good question earlier on. What about if a player has played for more than two clubs? Sorry, through the case of Salah or Mahrez, Kante, who have played for their respective clubs. We're going to be choosing players in their prime, and I want these guys, if there's a bit of a sticky one, to debate why that player is in their prime, for example. So yeah, any more questions in the chat or any more from you guys in the panel?
No.
But yeah, what was your thoughts when you first saw them rules?
Well, the fact that you bamboozled us with the rules this morning.
Lastminute.com. I know.
Yeah, proper pulled the rug out.
He knew exactly what he was doing. He told us all on Monday. He told us on Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, invited us on. So we all had our team sorted out. And then out of nowhere, he just goes, "Oh, it's only 2 players per team." And we had to ruin the whole thing. Like, so he knew exactly what he was doing.
Told you, my age is a factor in that is against me, so I have to try and make up every bit of ground. But guys in the chat, let me know if you guys understand. Can 2 people have the same player? No, they can't. So for example, I picked Salah, nobody else can have Salah. He's out of the list, out of the running. And I can't pick Salah from Liverpool and then they pick someone from Chelsea. That player is out. So it's going to be hard. Louis saying this is a banger. It's going to be difficult, people. I do know that. Tereak won't have no players from before 2006. I will. Hey, I've done my research, man. Really, CC. Now I have done my research. That's probably before 2006. That was my club, Arsenal's greatest period. So I definitely had to do a lot of research going back then. But it should be good.
I think there's more chance I won't have any players after 2006.
Fair play.
Yeah, probably.
But here we go, guys. And look, G Staffy's put it in there. Thank you, G Staffy, for the Discord server. We're going to get started now. So first of all, we're going to bring back the wheel where it was rigged last time. I remember you all saying, "Oh, yeah, this is rigged. How's Tereak getting the first pick, etc." But we're here, people. We're going to do the picks now. We're going to spin the wheel and see who gets the first pick. So who's it going to be? It's Matt. So Matt gets the first pick.
Oh, there goes Big Dunk.
Let me bring Matt. Let me bring
Tony
Everton for Newcastle. Which one?
True. There's Matt at the top. To be honest, I want one of these middle spots right here. I won't mind this. So it's not enough to go to Brush. I'm in second. So there we go. I'll put myself in second, people, so it's easy for you to follow. I'm in second. So who gets that third pick and who will be last? But whoever's last, remember, people.
I was last time.
Yeah, exactly. So it's Brush on his first appearance. He's going to be last. So I just literally keep it the same.
You get the double pick though, there, Brush.
That's all right.
Matt and Brush get
pick.
It's true. But you know what, people? So wait there. I'm second, yeah. So it's working like this. So we're gonna go from right to left.
There we go.
There we go. So left to right, sorry. But here we go, people. Let's get started. So Matt, hit us with your first team. Ed, you got the team page sorted? Here we go. Matt.
So what way are we doing? Keeper first, or what are we doing?
Totally up to you.
You can pick whatever.
Free for all.
Oh, you just pick whatever.
Yeah, if you want Big Dunk, pick him now.
Right, that's interesting. If you can go pick whatever. Are you going to go down the route that you take a player straight away out of the equation?
Makes it harder, doesn't it?
Yeah, I didn't know that you should have told us that was in the rules. I thought we were going to go like keeper, right back, left back.
He did ask if there was any other questions.
I know, but that's why I just thought logically. I was like, oh, this would be grand. I'll have a
decent
little
time
team here.
Chat. Should we have a timer for this? He's time wasting.
Struggling, man.
To deliberate on his decision.
No, you can't put a timer on this.
No, I'm gonna go.
I'm
gonna go. Right. I'll go with Oh man, I'm just gonna go with a striker first then, and I'm gonna go. Has to be with Alan Shearer up front.
Alan Shearer. Why? And what's you got any nostalgia?
Leading goal scorer. Leading goal scorer. He just banging in goals left, right, and centre. He was injured for, I think he had 2 really bad knee injuries. He missed probably 50 or 60 games where he could have added another 30 or 40 goals onto his incredible tally already. And if he had banged another 30 or 40 goals, he probably wouldn't have been caught ever, really. He won the Premier League with Blackburn as well. And then he just basically dedicated the rest of his career to Newcastle. So they're my reasons. Alan Shearer up top for me, an absolute machine up front. So yeah,
unreal forward.
Yeah, and the other thing as well, Matt. Because of when the Premier League was rebranded, if we included the season before that, that's another 30 odd goals.
Yeah,
30 odd goals. So yeah, that's prolific.
Yeah, exactly. You can't argue with the leading goal scorer. But being as I got the second pick, and I'm quite happy.
We know who you're going for, team.
I've got to go with the greatest. I've got to go with the greatest player to ever step foot in the Premier League. To play. No, not ever step foot in the Premier League, but the greatest Premier League player, and that is Thierry Henry. Surely that's my striker. I'm going with a 4-4-2, by the way, guys. I'm laying that out there now, and Thierry Henry has to be my striker. Oh man, just watching this player back, even when I caught him towards the end of his Arsenal career,
when he was shining for Barca.
Literally, that's my most vivid memories of seeing Thierry Henry. But just looking back, I've got the DVDs, I've got the videos, that VHS, all of that. Still got it locked away in my room somewhere. With the season reviews, just watching the amazing things that guy did in the Premier League, outstanding. Assists to his games also, and you got to remember this guy started as a left winger early on in his career, but Arsene Wenger really got the best out of him in that front, on that left, driving, scoring amazing goals. Tottenham fans, you know it already. The celebration, the statue, it's amazing. Thierry Henry for me all day, every day. Goals without, don't need to. You guys, it's a good pick, yeah?
No, without spoiling it, he was my pick. He was mine. I was taking him first.
You've already ruined my team as well. That was my partner for Shearer as well. So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
well up there for everybody. I think everyone's going to agree with those two. To be fair, up front, I think everyone's going to agree with them.
Exactly. Yeah, it's true. Ed, you're next.
So I'm going to get my manager out of the way. I'm going to choose Sir Alex Ferguson.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah. What do you need to say? He's won the Premier League more times than Huck Dinner's supreme psychologist. What that story of when he spoke to those reserves, Nicky Butt and everyone, and said, one of you is going to let me down, but make sure it's not you. And they all just stood there frozen going, okay, I can't let this guy down. What a man. What a manager. Unreal manager.
Did it at Aberdeen as well, even if you take it out of that, Aberdeen to compete with Celtic and Rangers back in the day, it was incredible to do what he did, amazing.
Hampers me with, Man United dominated for a long time, but got to grab him. I was going to go Henry, but I'll go Sir Alex.
Was he? Did you plan to have Sir Alex, and you knew that he's going to go top? First with your manager pick. Fair play.
Yeah.
All right, then Brush, you're up next.
So T, it would have been the same for me, mate. To play it tactically, Henry is the piece that you want on the board, just to eliminate him out. So that's where I would have gone. I've not settled on a formation. I figure I'll just freestyle it for a little bit, and it would help me out later on, depending on who I pick.
Hey, to be fair, I've laid it out now. You guys could mess up my thing.
So I've got 2 picks, have I?
Yeah, you've got 2. Yeah.
Right. Okay. The first one on the board is going to be the best left back that the Premier League has ever seen, and possibly in the world in his prime, Ashley Cole.
I agree.
Get the snakes in the chat.
Yeah, but which team are you picking him for? Chelsea or Arsenal? That's the question I was talking to Tereak.
So this is an interesting one actually because
that could take away from the rest of your team. Like you could turn
yeah,
around and say Chelsea, and then you have 2 Arsenal picks. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah. So with this like, is it a thing where you have to lock in now, or do you mess around with it later?
Lock in now. Has to be locked in now.
Because I tried to get last draft. I went with John McGinn when I forgot Tielemans was out there, but I couldn't change. So
no, that's fine. Obviously there's an argument to be made because he was part of that Invincibles Arsenal team, but I think we saw prime Ashley Cole at Chelsea.
Yeah, we did.
So
we did.
Yeah. Lock in Ashley Cole at Chelsea at left back.
Yeah.
And right back, again, another tactical one. Trent Alexander-Arnold.
That was mine. Nah, but big up for you for picking that, because if I had picked it, I think I'd have probably got a little bit more like, if you're getting. But tell us why. Tell the people why you've gone with him.
I mean, listen, the guy is essentially a winger, isn't he? Like, what he does is what we would have seen back in the day in the 90s from like a Beckham. The crossing accuracy, the assists, and there used to be doubts of whether he could play in a back four. He's done it fine. He's brilliant, and he hasn't even hit his ceiling yet, and he's what, 23?
Yeah, my age, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He's unreal player.
Yeah.
I think it's more in terms of the modern era of the Premier League. He's an incredible right back, but if you put Trent Alexander-Arnold probably in the Alex Ferguson era, I don't think you could put him in that Premier League. Do you get me? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Oh, absolutely. And then again, it goes back down to how we set up the teams, isn't it? So in those days, most teams played a flat 4-4-2. So your right back didn't have the same demands as the modern day one. You didn't really have to put crosses in or get forward as much.
The thing is with Trent, I think he would play, but not a right back. I think he'd be a right winger, old fashioned right winger, wouldn't he? With the way he goes down and the attacks. But
then if we're talking old school right wingers, we've sport for choice now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Don't mention too many names now. Don't mention too many names.
Yeah.
But Ed, now it's your turn.
So I'm going to secure midfield.
I'm so nervous.
Midfield, Dynamo. Was he better than Lampard? Yes, he was. I'm going with Steven Gerrard.
Ooh.
Is he the best out of the three?
No.
Oh, I think there's a little bit of a.
I'm a Scholes boy. Don't forget this hair remains loyal. No, I'm a Scholes out of those three. But for me personally, it's Scholes, Gerrard. But there's a very, very thin line between them. And then for me, it's Lampard. I think there's a big drop off in overall player. Lampard, incredible finisher, ridiculous finisher, especially for a midfielder. But
poxy manager.
Yeah.
I take that back.
Don't you think Lampard must hate Steven Gerrard, right? Secretly, deep down, there was always that. Oh, which one's better? And everyone really knew it was Gerrard. And now, even as managers, Gerrard's showing him up a little bit, so he must hate him. So Stevie G for me, midfield. I think initially I'm a bit like Brush. I don't necessarily have a formation just yet, but in my head it's a 4-3-3. So, but Stevie G can play anywhere in that three.
Yeah, I'll take that one. Yeah, and that leaves me with the next pick. I'm going to have to go with my centre back, and it has to be Rio Ferdinand. He has to be in for me. There's my Man United pick out of the way. You can't really go wrong with Rio and Henry so far. He could play in the modern day now. The only thing that really let Rio down towards probably the mid 2000s was injuries when he started to get over them. And his prime, even when he was at Leeds, he was fantastic coming through. Watching him back then. So yeah, Man United, what a centre back for me. The best centre back to play in the Premier League, and I think the second best ever is currently playing now. But we'll get to that if somebody mentions him. I've had some debates with Vibes about this, but yeah, for me, I've got to go with Rio Ferdinand at the back, stalwart England international. Unfortunate that he never won a trophy for England, but yeah, serial winner too. So Rio Ferdinand.
Yeah, you can't really go wrong there, T. £18 million move from West Ham to Leeds. at such a young age. It was a record at the time.
It was.
And he justified that price tag. A few eyebrows were raised, myself included, and he rose to the occasion. And yeah, a few of you guys will remember the wonderful run that Leeds went on to the semi-finals of the Champions League.
Lebo,
and he played a pivotal role.
Hey, the guys in the chat know what I'm talking about, but we'll get there. We'll get there if he gets picked. But Matt, it comes back to you. You've got 2 picks.
Yeah, I'm gonna use tactically again, obviously because I have 2 picks. I'm gonna box off my whole right hand side here, and I'm gonna go with my right back, and it's gonna be Azpilicueta.
I can't spell that.
Dave, put
Dave. Just put Aspie. Actually, let's put him there. But yeah, just for pure solidness and just the fact that he can actually play left back as well, and probably drop in to the right hand side or left hand side of a back three and stuff like that. And 10 years at Chelsea, he's won everything. Like, he's won Champions League, UEFA, like literally everything there is to be won. He's won it, and he's like captained the side and stuff like that. I think I seen a stat the other day. I think it was probably one of them Twitter stats that are made up, but I think he's never made a mistake that's led to a goal, and that's just solidness for me. Like, in terms of, obviously it's completely opposite to Bush's pick with Trent at the back. I think like you're not going to get that many assists out of him, even though he does come up with a few himself. But he does solid, solid.
But overall, he does everything, doesn't he?
Everything.
Does it well.
Like in terms, like I was kind of racking my brain. Obviously, you have other. I'm not going to name them because obviously you guys might have them or whatever. But there's so many. Like, I think everyone says like, oh, Trent is such a good right back because there's such a lack of good right backs in the Premier League at the moment. In terms of like world class, obviously you have. I'm not going to name them. I keep going to name them, but yeah, Azpilicueta a right back for me. So that's my forward and one of my forwards and my right back sorted. And then I'm going to get it out of the way straight away with my right winger and just go straight down the middle with Salah on the right hand side.
Decent. It's a good shout. Yeah. I mean, probably about 2 years ago, people would still say, oh, nah, Salah can't be in there. A lot of rival fans would, but you can't argue with that now with his output, the impact he's had on Liverpool. People say, with Liverpool, it's Alisson, Van Dijk, they're in there. If you take Salah's goals away, that's a lot of goals. He's added assists to his games also. So I like that shout with Salah.
Yeah, nice and defensive there with Azpilicueta, and then let Salah do what he wants going forward.
Yeah, I like that. But as King's saying here, Aspie over Ivanovic.
Yeah. There was another one as well, and at the end of this, I'll go back to it. There was two more players. He was one of them, and there was another one there that possibly 2 as well. But I just didn't want to make my team too recent. I wanted to kind of branch it out a little bit as well, so that's why I chose Shearer in there as well. But I have a couple of gems in the rest of my team. I don't think you guys are going to pick, so we'll see how we get on.
For me, yeah, I understand. And for me, I would go Aspie over Ivanovic also because of that longevity factor. The fact that with Ivanovic, yeah, he was a top goal scorer as well from right back. But towards the end of his Chelsea career, he still had those little bit of defensive lapses. He was very physical. When he lost that physicality, his game regressed. Whereas with Azpilicueta, we haven't seen that at all. Still consistently a 6-7 out of 10 player and plays left back, centre back. He can do it all. Also grabbed a lot of assists and
and goals.
Yeah, big goals. The fact that Morata even had a half decent time at Chelsea was a lot of that. Them crosses into early crosses into the box. So I'd go for Aspie for me. But yeah, Ivanovic.
The comment there, Ivanovic. Remember when Ivanovic got the second yellow in the semi-final and he didn't know he was going to miss the final.
Yeah,
that was like the worst thing in the interview after the game, and he was like, "Oh, you do know you missed the final now," and he was like, "What?" It was just one of the worst moments ever for him. But yeah, so Aspie and Salah and Shearer, that's a devastating right hand side for me, anyway.
Yeah, Aspie, Salah, Shearer, and that leaves me to go in the central position again. I'm going to build from a spine, learning off Roland here. I'm going to go Vieira, and there's my 2 Arsenal players gone. Patrick Vieira in the middle. Crystal Palace.
Get them out early, man. Get them out early. Good man.
Crystal Palace fans in the chat, I need your support. I've got your managers taking you to Wembley and our legend. Just once again, a stalwart. I was talking about this in the group chat and I made a good point. And guys in the chat, I'd love to hear this. Patrick Vieira now, is he better than the French dude that plays for Chelsea?
The French dude.
Yeah, I'm not going to say his name.
I'm going to say his name, Kante.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he better than him?
Yeah, it's not even close.
Not even close.
Not even close.
Brush. I know you thought it was a bit closer, didn't you? Oh.
I mean, I know which one I'm taking all day, every day. It's Vieira.
Yeah. And what about you, Matt? You saying Vieira as well?
Yeah, I said it there the other day in the chat as well. Obviously, like, listen, don't take it away from Kante. Absolutely incredible. Like, he won the Premier League, 2 years in a row, wasn't it? Back to back, Leicester and Chelsea, two different teams. He is an incredible footballer. But in terms of, I think I said it in the chat the other day. If you put Kante in the Premier League 15 years ago and Vieira was in there, would they be the same? And would Vieira be able to play in Chelsea's midfield now? So they're the type of questions you need to ask as well. Two of them are class, like obviously unbelievable players. But yeah, for me, it'd be Vieira all day.
There you go. 100% Vieira is better, says King. How PV wasn't picked before Gerrard? I don't know. PV is better than Kante. Don't disrespect. Vieira all day, says Wilf. And then Moss says, called it almost no old school player so far.
Alan Shearer.
He was in the 90s, wasn't he?
Yeah, Shearer, Patrick Vieira. We're only like 6 picks in.
yeah. But guys, Ed, here's your next pick. Are you going to go for an old school one? You got?
I'm not actually. I'm not. I'm going to annoy Moss even more. I'm going to bag my left-sided centre back and go for Virgil van Dijk.
Okay, the second.
Liverpool done.
The second best to play at centre back, and why have you gone for Verge? Was you looking at Rio and then your backup choice was Verge?
No, I've got one more Man United player, and I'm holding that back hopefully. So no, Van Dijk. What is there to say? The guy's won it all. He's class. He was class at Celtic. He then came to Southampton and stepped up. And like you've watched forwards that have got these world class personas, and they crumble when they go one-on-one with him. There aren't many centre backs that have had that over the years. He can body players. He's good in the air. He scores goals when he needs to. He's amazing with both feet. He can pass. There's nothing the bloke can't do. Nothing the bloke can't do.
And that's it. Do you know when you said about strikers crumbling, like when they get close to Van Dijk? I think that's a factor why I think he's better than Vidic. Van Dijk could have played in the previous era. That's fine. He's got the physicality to do exactly that, and the intelligence that he has to his game. And he doesn't come dive in. You know, as one of the greatest centre backs to ever play the game, Maldini. When you make a slide tackle, that's a problem. How many times do you see Van Dijk make a slide tackle? Rarely. Not taken away from Vidic, but that's just what I just think. And Brush, what do you think that as well with Verge?
Yeah, he's good, but there's been many great centre backs in the Premier League era.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know. I think there's a bit too much hype around him. He is quality,
Really?
don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I think it's only because I've seen so many great ones.
Yeah.
I think Van Dijk he's kind of a mix of an old school Premier League centre half and obviously a new school Premier League centre half. He has that physicality, like the Rio Ferdinands and stuff like that, but he also has that kind of slick pass and quickness. I think he's a mix of the two. So like you say, he could play in the older era as well, but he fits. So he's like you say, you never see him making a slide tackle ever. So it's easy. He is obviously at the moment he's probably the best Premier League centre half at the moment. But I wouldn't even put him in the top 5, to be honest with you.
Same. Of all time. I mean, currently,
yeah,
but not all time. All time, I don't think he makes.
Is a lot of that because to do with the trophies that the others possessed and how the longevity factor?
Yeah, it's a mixture because not everyone had the longevity either, right? But yeah, it's just what they achieved in their time and whatnot as well. I mean, listen, he's still playing the game. It might be a different thing if we look back on it in another couple of years' time.
Interesting.
Yeah, not going to lie, I wanted Rio. Rio would have been he was my other United pick.
Yeah. There you go. And Brush, are you going to go with the United man now?
I'm going to go with a United man, yes.
I think I know.
I was slightly worried that Ed, if I leave it for another wrap, he might get picked up. So slightly tactical. And also, while we were talking about centre-backs, one man that's miles better than Virgil and anyone else that you guys can mention, Yap Stam.
Oh, what a player! I'd forgotten about him.
I've one thing with Yapstam, right? And I was looking at it. I didn't realize he played so few games for Manchester United.
He was there for
2
3
seasons,
seasons,
right?
Matt. 3 seasons. 3 seasons.
He played less than 80 games.
We won the league title all 3 of the seasons.
I know,
he was starring centre back.
I completely forgot about him.
Including a treble.
Yeah, he was unreal. But
the man is unreal.
I can't believe he only played like 76 games for Manchester
Crazy.
United.
And he was better than VVD as well.
Yeah, just the bravery. He got stuck into everything. He wouldn't let up. If strikers backed up into him, like they hit a brick wall. So imagine like similar to kind of how Eric Bailly gets stuck in, but not made of biscuits. And he was good on the ball as well. He would sense danger very early on. He would even sometimes suss out the danger in defensive midfield areas and just put a tackle in, and win possession back and get the game rolling again. It was amazing to watch.
Yeah, fair play.
That's the first one I've gone. I forgot him.
Do you know what? I thought of him, but I couldn't put him in because I didn't have enough. Like I can't personally say that. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I've seen him play, and I think his player profile, he could play today's game. Bearing in mind playing the 90s as well. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, he could play any era.
So
and his United rating would have been longer as well. Obviously, there was a bit of controversy around his departure. He wrote a book at the time, which Fergie wasn't a fan of.
Yeah,
and there was rumours circulating that's why that he got transfer listed. It was such a random transfer as well at the time. It
was it Lazio? Was it?
Yeah, Lazio. We made a profit on him, but still, even at 29, like he was in his prime. And we replaced it.
That was the one thing with Alex Ferguson. Like, you had a player like Yapstam who basically was your rock for 3 years, and if he fell out and he was like, "Right, go on, good luck, see you later."
Yeah,
bring someone else.
Yeah, that was it. He was so cutthroat, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And I think that was part of his aura as well. But yeah, we'll get into the manager stuff later on.
But you've got another pick, Brush. So you got.
I've got another one about.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't like being on the ends, man, because you have to wait so long for a pick. I'm sitting here waiting for a pick. Like,
Vieira went, and who was the other one that went for me? So I've lost 2 so far.
You see,
I've only lost 1. I'm doing well.
The chat is loving yours, Brush. You know what I mean? It's because you went real old school there. Before I was born.
Not quite.
I'm gonna go for a gunman. I'm gonna go for Sergio Aguero.
Oh, Sergio Aguero. Yeah, you got to really go for it. Injuries once again, it's a shame. Otherwise, he's
but that's towards sort of the end of it, innit? Like, he was still in his prime. Unbelievable. I think he's got the best goals to minute ratio in the Premier League.
It's a long way.
Yeah,
you can't argue Sergio Aguero there. And if he didn't have injuries, I think he would be up there. Like, even
absolutely, even higher.
For sure. So can't argue with that. Sergio Aguero right there. Where would you rank him in the Premier League's best strikers, guys?
For me, he's definitely up there. Top 5, definitely. There's an argument for top 3.
Yeah.
Would you guys? I wouldn't say top 3, but I'd say he's pushing on the door of top 5 anyway. 100%. Definitely.
Yeah.
I guess we can get into that at the end on who your top 3 would be.
Once the teams are sorted, Jay, we'll go to.
It's really annoying. Yeah, it's really annoying. This I can't discuss things the way I want to.
You're trying to be tactical in that, so you don't remind people. Ed, your turn, bro.
See, I'm looking at my list. Where do I go? Right. Let's think about this. Do I take him? I'm stuck between 2 players, and they're both Man United players. I think I'm going to have to go. I'm going to go with the gorgeous David Beckham.
Yeah, David Beckham. Cool. I'm glad you haven't said mine, because that leaves mine ready. I know I'm lining up. Guys, come on, man.
The thing is, it might be a controversial thing about Becks.
You put him in midfield?
Yeah. Centre midfield. So far, I haven't picked my formation yet. I might go 4-4-2 and go proper old school.
Yeah, you can sort out the formation later.
Yeah, that can be whenever. Genuinely, potentially, I think he might be underrated. of how good he actually was.
Yeah,
He
probably.
was incredible.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Ed. Because like his brand became so big that it kind of overshadowed the football. I think a lot of people forgot that he was actually a very good footballer.
I've never seen a player until recently with Trent that could hit a cross like a golfer hits a golf shot. He could draw it, he could fade it, he could do what you wanted with it, and he would put it. How many goals did a certain Dutch striker score?
It's true.
From 10 yards out or more.
Even when he got the ball on the right hand side and he was pinging the ball over to a certain Welsh left winger, that didn't have to move. He wouldn't even have to move. He wouldn't have to run onto the ball. It would literally just stop at his foot. It was incredible, man. He was unreal. Yeah.
And he went to Real Madrid and played well there as well. Let's not pretend that he didn't. He went over there and he
PSG, AC Milan, changed the game over in the MLS.
And funny enough, at Madrid, they used him in centre midfield as well because they had Figo out on the right.
Yeah.
Good point.
And one other thing as well, Ed, with him, especially in this day and age when we're so clued on about mental health and things of that nature, like the amount of media scrutiny that was on him, especially after the '98 World Cup where he was enemy number one. And he was getting slandered left, right, and centre. He couldn't go out. And, the perseverance to come back from that, to take on the captain's armband of England as well, and literally dragged us to the 2002 World Cup. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. And work rate as well.
Yeah.
His work rate is forgotten. He could have played right back.
Yeah, that qualifying game against Greece, if anyone goes and checks that out, he literally dragged us into it.
Yeah.
That moment, I think, like, that goal, the whole of England probably stopped for 10 seconds. Like,
I know where I was when that goal went.
I think Peter Taylor was the one that gave him the captaincy armband.
Yeah, it was.
Shout out to him, because at the time that was a bit controversial as well. Beckham wasn't really, he wasn't the obvious choice that shouted out at you as captain material. And what a move that turned out to be.
100%. And do you know what? I'm gonna go with Cristiano Ronaldo. I think, I know he wasn't his prime when he was in the Premier League, but he scored 42 goals in one season. Was it 42 goals across all competitions?
Yeah, across all competitions. In the league, I think it was 31 that year.
It's ridiculous.
Is this for Man United, was it?
Yeah, for Man United. But this is the debate, guys. What part of where should I put him? He's not my striker, Ed. He ain't my striker. Because in your Man United...
Well, it depends which one you're going for, innit? So I'm guessing you're going for the 08 one.
Right wing.
The 08 one would have to be on the wing, so possibly right-hand side.
Yeah. Can I put him left? Can I put him left?
Yeah.
I mean, you could stick him on the left.
Yeah, because I got another player that I want to pick.
Although it was probably at Madrid where he really came into his own on the left. For us, he was on the right-hand side. Yeah. The only one to pocket him was the left back that I chose.
There was a certain Irish fullback that played for my team that pocketed him in his first season. Thank you very much.
In his first season, Ed, where he was doing 2 step-overs and falling over.
Don't disrespect the other player I might have picked from Man United.
Matt, your turn.
Well, I've got 2, and I think I'm going to get me United players out of the way. And I'm surprised now that one of them definitely hasn't been taken yet. And I'm going to get him out of the way because I'm running out of options for strikers, and that's Rooney. I'll put him up front.
Yeah.
I had Henry there, and I have both of them written down here, Aguero and Rooney. But obviously, Rooney's there as well. So, yeah, Shearer and Rooney up front for me. At the moment, I'm going like 4-4-2. Rooney, like, obviously, I genuinely think that Rooney is just in a world of his own when it comes to. He was kind of at the back end of the class of '92 era, and he came in. He was in that era with Ronaldo as well, and kind of kept it going. Ended up being captain of Manchester United, Manchester United's all-time top goal scorer. Just an incredible player. Like, if you actually look back at his highlight reel, it's incredible, the goals that he scored, the tenaciousness. Like, even when it was an assist he got for when he was playing for DC United. He literally ran the length of the field after it was like the 94th minute.
Yeah.
Put an unbelievable slide tackle in, pinged the 50, 60 yard ball for an assist in the last minute. And that was when he was like 33, 34. Like he was still doing it.
He's United's top goal scorer, right?
Yeah, greatest all-time goal scorer. And because he was at your guys, Matt, Everton, so early, he's the end of his Premier League career kind of like went a bit sooner than we thought. But that's because how many years did he play at such a high level in the Premier League, Rush? How many years was it?
Mate, he broke into that Everton team at 16.
16.
Yeah.
He looked 42, but he was 16.
Who did he score that goal against?
Oh, yeah.
That was his debut, wasn't it?
Yeah. Remember, I think he came off the bench with I remember where I was for that goal as well. Just remember the name, Wayne Rooney. That's a great goal. Unreal, like. But like even the goal, remember the volley he scored against Newcastle and all that, like just the goals he scored.
Yapping off at the referee and then turning around and volleying it in.
Was it that season as well against West Brom where he absolutely took the piss against? I think was it Dean at the back?
Yeah.
Just unreal. Like even when he came back to Everton there, like he scored a hat trick against West Ham, and he lobbed the keeper from the halfway line for his third goal. Like just stuff like that. Like just an absolutely
the range of passing was unbelievable.
Yeah, he's just I had to put him in my team. If I was going to come down to it, I'd rank him ahead of Aguero in top striker list. I would like.
Yes.
And then my second choice, then I'm going to get me goalkeeper out of the way, and I'm going to go with Edwin van der Sar.
Ooh,
interesting. Yeah. So that's your two Man United picks, yeah.
Two Man United picks gone. Van der Sar, I was looking up the stats for him as well. Like he was in the Premier League Team of the Year 3 times. Won the league with Manchester United 4 times. I think he had 340 appearances in the Premier League, obviously with United and Fulham. And then he went and played for Juventus as well. And I think he played for the Dutch national team for like 11 years or something like that, like 9 or 11 years. It just in terms of like you could go down the road and say like Petr Cech and stuff like that, but Van der Sar was up there with one of the best keepers in the Premier League, I think. Yeah, and I wanted to go a little bit old school as well, so brought him in.
Yeah, fair enough. Do you know what? I'm going to go for my obscure pick. The one, and I'm surprised he hasn't been picked already. And it's an Everton player, Leighton Baines at left back. Yeah,
he was on my list. He was on my list as well.
It should, once again, longevity, consistency. That's the thing with Leighton Baines. And
Wigan as well.
Yeah, Wigan. Yeah, he was good there as well.
Decent at set pieces.
That's it. Penalties, free kicks, corners, you name it. I think that would work well in terms of Ronaldo on there. Just let him do the crossing, let Ronaldo do the dribbling and that. Sort of old school in a way. Like transition is probably that fullback that was kind of like transitioning into the new school ones where, you know, a lot of set pieces and that was taken. So he was in a league of his own at that time, Leighton Baines, with the set pieces. But yeah, who was it that back in the 90s for West Ham who took penalties as well? Was it the West Ham?
Julian Dix,
yeah. So
he had one failed season at Liverpool.
He was a dirty little player.
Liverpool bought him, and he didn't train. At West Ham, he was allowed to do what he wanted, just smash free kicks, penalties, go and drink 10 cans, and then turn up on Saturday. Liverpool expected some professionalism, and he went back.
Yeah, exactly. And then Paxson comes in, Baines, top 5 left back. Interesting debate in the Prem. There isn't many.
No, I've not really thought about it, to be honest.
No.
Yeah. But in fairness, that anytime you see the stats that come up, it's always like who's a better left back, Cole or Baines. Yeah, it's always been like that, and the reason why Baines never.
I don't know what stats you've been looking at, Matt. Dennis Irwin, Patrice Evra.
I knew he was going to say.
I'm saying the reason why Baines probably didn't get highlighted as much is because he was probably in Ashley Cole's shadow. They both played at the same time for England and stuff like that. So Baines didn't really get on the stage as much as Ashley Cole, I think. But in terms of talent, I think the both of them are probably up there. Like, obviously, Ashley Cole's incredible, but Leighton Baines, in terms of longevity as well, like, he only stopped playing like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, so.
And then Martin saying, picking Baines at left back, are you mad? Well, the other left backs that are there, they've been taken, or I've picked a Man United player already, too many Man United players. So it had to be an obscure pick in a way, and he's probably the best out of the non-Man United and Arsenal. I know Brush has
I
picked.
don't know. I've got a left back in the chamber.
Have
I
you?
think that might be
Better.
I think so.
Okay, we'll
I'm
discuss
not picking
that
him
when it
next
gets to-
though.
Nah, no, but when that comes,
Yeah.
when that bridge, we'll cross it. But who's your next pick, Ed?
So I am mining the mighty Gunners, and I am going with Bobby Pires as my left winger.
I think I saw someone in the chat say that. When are we going to pick Bobby Perez? I think it was King.
Player.
Yeah.
What a
Quality.
player. What a player. That lob against Villa, the Schmeichel came running out and he just takes it down. He was 6'2", but he ran like he was 5'6", and it worked, didn't it? He was an incredible footballer. Dirty, dived a lot. Love that. He's going to get me loads of free kicks for Beckham to take. That's my plan. So I think I'm going to go 4-4-2. So my midfield now is Stevie G, Beckham, and Pires as my right winger.
Decent. Like that one. Brush, you got the double pick now.
The double pick. It's a hard one, this. I'm going to lock in my Chelsea pick first. I think it's the last of the Chelsea picks. And it is, they named a position after this man. He goes by the name of Claude Makelele.
He was going to be next to Stevie G for me.
For me, he's in that elite bracket along with Patrick Vieira. And a certain other Irishman who I just couldn't pick because obviously limitations.
Yeah. You see, guys in the chat, I don't know if you understand, but I have no more Man United or Arsenal players that I could have picked. So
Claude Makelele is in, and the next one I'm gonna have to think about. Bear with me while I type this out. I'm starting to lose count now of everything. So I'm doing
It's running across the screen as well, Brush.
Claude Makelele.
Yeah.
You know the position you're gonna pick?
Yeah, I've got an idea. Right.
How's the chat looking, Tereak? Who's winning the team so far?
Ooh,
I know Brush.
Brush was getting a lot of love when he picked Yapstam. A lot of love.
I think there might be a few United fans in there. That's probably why.
Yeah.
Not many Everton fans in the chat anyway. I don't think
There's absolutely no Wolves fans, man.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Left wing for me, Moss. Just to answer that question, what Brush is thinking.
Yeah, left wing has to be.
I'm going 4-4-2, Moss. There you go. Brush won from the start, really, is the saying. So you could give
that Yaps he loves it. He loves it. Brush is struggling now. This is where we're getting into the pot.
Yeah, we're into the weeds now.
Pot. Yeah.
I'm actually still happy. I've only been screwed over twice so far, and both my centre halves and both my midfielders are still available. So I'm happy out.
Yeah. Brush went good with the 2 picks going left back and right back.
I'm gonna go with to partner Makelele, Cesc Fabregas.
Oh yeah, I like that one.
Now again, which team?
The one at Arsenal.
Yeah,
the one that made Barca spend all that money.
Yeah. Love Cesc, but probably my favourite, like it's in the recent era, the Emirates era, my favourite Arsenal player.
Yeah. So it's a weird one, this, because as you're building a team, you want to make sure they all work together. You want pieces that that go together.
Yeah.
And you've got Claude to do all the messy stuff and clean up, and then Cesc is just overall just brilliant.
Exactly.
The weight of pass for Cesc Fabregas is probably the best I've ever seen. Yeah. Just never overhit or underhit a pass.
And just overall as well, we debate like Gerrard, Lampard, and all those guys. Cesc goes under the radar.
Yes.
And he could do a bit of everything.
Do you know the one game it was for me? We was 2-1 down against Aston Villa. Cesc Fabregas was on the bench because he was injured. Came off the bench, scored 2 goals, went off again because he re-aggravated that injury, and we won 3-2. That was ridiculous. Cesc Fabregas. Yeah, I won't forget that game. Do you know what I mean? So Cesc, I loved him to bits, man. But Ed,
always shown for the ball, wasn't he? Just
always
never shied away from it. He was always shown from the ball. Like.
To break into that Arsenal team at such a young age as well. Like that wasn't a
17 years old.
Yeah, exactly. One of our just after our greatest ever.
Pretty
team.
sure he made his debut against Wolves in the League Cup.
Was he?
And we got battered 6-0. So
yeah. Look at Martin's definitely not voting for me now. Leaving me. But yeah, look, Paxton saying Fabregas passing it through to Aguero. Oh, wonderful. Ed, have you made your mind up for your next pick? You can still think while I go through the comments. Let me know.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, definitely. This is what we'll go through the comments because we're in this hard stage now where everyone's struggling. Dennis Bergkamp, anyone soon? I'm going to go crazy. Hey, King, I can't. I've picked up my Arsenal players. Vieira and Henry, just above Dennis Bergkamp for me. He was
I'm picking Bergkamp.
Is that you going to go with?
Yeah. I was just writing it in.
The non-flying Dutchman himself.
This guy for me. This was when I realised that I wasn't any good at football when I saw him play. Because at this age, when I was 10, 11, when I started to realise who he was. I could do what most footballers did, run around a lot. I could kick the ball. I couldn't do what this guy did. And Nikos Dabizas probably still has nightmares about this guy.
Newcastle.
That Newcastle goal is unreal for Holland.
There was the one against Leicester City as well, Ed.
Yes, the Filbert Street one. Filbert Street, he did, and there was one against Sunderland as well. I think maybe at the old Sunderland ground, Roker Park, when he drags it out the pouring rain and flicks it over a couple of people. What a player! This is from an era where stats forget stats. It was very possible to have a good game without a goal or an assist, and he was one of those. It was just a pleasure to watch. Yes,
it was one of those love-hate ones as a rival. Like you never wanted to admit that you liked Dennis. Yeah. You couldn't openly admit it, but you loved watching it.
Yeah, number 10. I'm gonna have him as my 10.
Such a shame that he did have that fair flying because Arsenal could have done with him in a few of those European nights. I think.
Yeah,
big time.
It's true. So
phenomenal player.
Now it's my pick. Now this is where I'm struggling. I need to have a look at my team first. So I've got kind of got the spine sorted, but I need to go for my goalkeeper, and I'm going to go for Chelsea. Petr Cech has to be for me. Like
not Arsenal's Petr Cech. No,
nah, not Arsenal. Not Agent Cech. None of that. He actually
he can't pick another Arsenal player. So
true.
Yeah, no Agent Cech, but he weren't too bad, but he was definitely not the level that he was at Chelsea. And then to come back after a life-threatening injury as well and be at such a top level, that's just even more credit to the guy because Ed's seen Raul Jimenez, who's come back and done well, but not returned to that top level. That didn't drop from Petr Cech for a goalkeeper as well. So, yeah, huge. Petr Cech for me has to go in goal. That's my first Chelsea pick as well. So, Matt, you're up next.
It's a double pick.
I'm going to go... I might do one midfield and one centre-back, and then hopefully when it comes back around to me, I'll do the other two then. I think I'm going to go with this one because I don't think any of us are going to pick the other midfielder. And I'm going to put Man City's Yaya Toure in midfield. Just because he ran the show in the Premier League in the midfield for, 3 or 4 seasons?
Yeah.
Just one of those players that looked like he was running in slow motion, but he'd go 40 yards in about 2 seconds. And the goals he scored, where it didn't even look like he was going to shoot, and he just shoot and it would go top corner. Was that? It's one of those players.
He made an absolute mockery of fantasy league for those that play. Because he was one of those where expected goals and all of that stuff just went out the window. The stats didn't do it justice.
He looked so lazy on and off the ball, but he was doing so much when he had it, and when he didn't have it. So
technically gifted.
Oh, incredible! So I had to put him in, but my other midfielder that I don't think any of us are going to pick, so I'm leaving him there. And I'm going to go with my other centre half, and I'll just do now Vincent Kompany for centre half. And again, for the reasons that I don't think you're going to pick any. They're going to pick the other centre half that I have as well. So yeah, Vincent Kompany, just such a shame that he had those injuries, because I think if he didn't have those injuries, he was with Man City for 11 seasons.
Yeah.
He was there at the start of when the money came in. He was there all the way through. Obviously, he probably missed out on probably nearly half the games he could have played with injuries and stuff like that. But towards the end of his Manchester City career, like, he was that goal against Leicester as well, when it looked like it was all but done. But yeah, so Vincent Kompany and Yaya Toure, they're my two Man City players. So
exactly, good shout, man. That was mine. Vincent Kompany, you know, that goal against Leicester as well.
Yeah,
Liverpool.
Where do you want your statue, Vincent?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you was loving that. That's denied. That's giving them one less title, isn't it? Man?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But for me, I'm gonna have to go with my centre back now, and this is my last Chelsea pick. Not as a man, but you can't argue as a player. John Terry, next to Rio in the middle. Didn't work for England, but if we're talking in the Premier League, yeah, class. I gotta go John Terry as a player. As I said, as a man, something different. And if anyone goes for a left winger, they can probably say the same for that person. But yeah, John Terry has to be in. Longevity, leadership. Yeah, I'm not going to read out the Chelsea banner. I can't do that. But yeah, I got to go for John. What about you, Ed?
Yeah, well, he's up there. He's up there in one of the. He's definitely in the top 5 for centre halves.
Yeah,
I think
definitely. Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of John Terry personally. He's not even written down on my list. Too much for me. Typical English centre half, diving in, putting his head where it hurts. Was he good or was he in a good team? It's just it's my 2 penneth on that.
You can say that about a lot of players.
You could. Maybe it's just because I can't stand him as a man.
probably.
Maybe
I don't know about that one, Ed. I mean, I'm right there with you about him off the field and whatnot, and you know. But as a player, I do think he was quality.
Yeah.
You could use his left foot as well. He play left side centre back.
His passing was he was one of the first kind of centre halves in the modern era that was pinging balls left and right with his both feet. So yeah.
He's got more career goals than Iniesta.
That's another goal. Whoa.
One of those random stats for you guys.
I've just looked at my side. They're big side so far. It's a big team. They're all tall, man.
Dan Burn coming in now next, is he? Right, who's next?
I agree as well, King, in terms of play. Like, I would rather have Carvalho as a player, but yeah, the longevity factor goes.
Yeah, I had him on the list, Carvalho, but I didn't have John Terry. But like I said, I think that might just be because I can't stand him. Right, okay, it's me next, isn't it?
Yeah.
T, go through some comments.
Phil. So that was before Premier League, wasn't it? Steve Boyd.
He never played in the top division.
Nah.
306 goals, but all in lower leagues.
Yeah, this is the Premier League. It's 92, and just to let you know, Wilf, in terms of and if anyone that's caught late, we can only pick 2 players per club. So I can pick 2 Man United players, 2 Arsenal players, and that's it. Can't even pick an Arsenal manager or Man United, anything like that. So anyone who's jumped in and maybe missed the rules at the start, whilst Ed, if you got your pick yet, I'll just put these rules up quickly just so that you guys can see.
Yeah, I think I've got my pick.
Perfect.
And I think to go next to the Flying Dutchman, non-Flying Dutchman, I think I'm going to go with Harry Kane.
Oh, man, great shout.
Goal scorer. You know, what a player.
Yeah.
What a player. Bit of recency. Ian Wright was my first footballing hero, but I couldn't get him in because I'd already used my Arsenal players. So I think Bergkamp setting Kane up and Kane setting Bergkamp up. I have goals. I've got assists. I've got underrated height. They're both over 6 foot. In this format, Dennis Bergkamp can fly, so we'll win European Cups and other things because he can get to the back of beyond. So yeah, Harry Kane.
Good shout. Yeah, like that one. Will he be the all-time goal scorer in the Prem?
Yeah, probably. If he stays in the Premier League.
If he moves to Man City, he will. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brush.
At Man City, though, do you think he'll get enough games if he were to move? I can't see them going for him.
I think if he stays in the Premier League, like Ed said, if he
Yeah.
stays at Tottenham, if he goes to Manchester United or Man City, if he stays in the Premier League, I think he'll get the all-time goal scorer record, no matter what team he plays for.
I reckon the most likely outcome is he probably stays at Tottenham now, unless Newcastle want to do an absolute madness in the summer and they sell him on a project.
Yeah, true.
And if he goes there, it will be the nostalgic vibes of Shearer all over again, and they'll tie him down and build around him for the foreseeable future. And they would have no reason for sell on value or anything, so they could just fully invest and build around him.
But is it a case on the Newcastle thing, like you say, you sell him a project? In my opinion, Kane probably only has another 3 years, maybe.
If that. But the thing is, though, Matt, like when you speak to him, you'd have to be like, listen, do you have more of a chance of winning something in the next 2 years at Tottenham, or with us while we're building something? What is there to lose? You're still going to get 38 games, hopefully, provided you stay injury free. We can match any wages, if not, and then some. So why not? What have you got to lose?
Yeah, true. Yeah,
exactly.
I think it's going to be one of those striker merry-go-rounds in the summer. It all depends where Haaland
I think
ends up.
it's going to be a domino effect, isn't it? I think one or two things are going to trigger a whole bunch of transfers in the summer.
And people are going to want to do their business in the summer because we've got the Winter World Cup.
Yeah, that as well. We'll have to have a different stream for that. Yeah. I'm going to go off on a rant about.
Yeah, let's not start on that.
Yeah.
Right, who's next?
Is
it me? Is it? Have I got 2 picks again? Yeah, 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got the 2.
Yeah. Right. Okay. All right. I'm going to max out my Man City, and I'm going to go for one of the best playmakers that we've ever seen in the Premier League. It's going to be David Silva.
Yeah, that weight of pass when Ed mentioned that earlier. That's the thing with David Silva.
Yeah,
and that's who I see Erdegaard being most similar to now, in terms of his style of play. If he can get to that level, we're laughing. But what a player he is! Elegance, oozes it.
Good for Foden as well, right? He nurtured Foden really, really well.
That's where Pep got a bit of criticism though, for how he. When Pep wasn't getting, he wasn't playing Foden. Send him out on loan. Can't develop kids. Rah rah rah. But have a look at that now. Teaching him lessons of the game.
And this kind of sets up my formation as well. Now I'm going 4-3-3.
So.
And I'm going to go for a flying Welshman. Probably not the one that you think.
Man,
Gareth Bale.
Oh man. Oh, that was one of my shouts. I definitely would have got rolled in the chat for saying that though. But
Prime Bale, the one that won that record-breaking move to Real Madrid. He was amazing. I remember he was a left back actually, because I remember United missed out on him because we wanted him when he was a left back. And he went to Spurs, and he was very close to moving from Spurs because he didn't really get the game time. There was talk of a move to Birmingham City, and then. Yeah, I think they had an injury crisis as well, and that's when Harry Redknapp kind of started playing him. And he had that breakout game against Inter Milan where he absolutely destroyed Maicon, who at the time was, considered one of the best right backs around. So, and he just went on to great things from then on.
Yeah, it's true. Great shout that. In terms, what else? Yeah, that's your 2 picks. How many players we got left, guys?
Let's see. I think I've only got 3 left now.
3 left, okay.
Yeah.
So this is it. It's getting interesting. So 3 left for you as well, Ed?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. Guys in the chat, what are you thinking about?
Oh no, and your manager.
Don't forget your managers,
Yeah, the managers as well. True.
I've only got, at the minute, VVD at the back, so he's got a lot of work to do.
He can do it though. He can. Oh man! But look at that. Got a dip, but Brush is getting my vote. Says Paxton. Oh, look at that, Brush! You're doing well, man. You're doing well.
So we're on me now, yeah.
Yep, your turn.
Right. I think I'm going to finish off my Tottenham picks and go for maybe a left field.
I know.
Centre back choice.
Ooh,
I'm going to go with
okay.
Ledley King.
Ooh.
Ledley King.
What a player he could have been if not for injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there was a time when he didn't even used to train.
No.
Because he couldn't. And still, they just said, don't worry about it. And he still managed to put out what he did. So imagine. It's a real one of those, what could have been ones with Ledley King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think I had Matt was worried there, so I think there might have been someone that he was thinking about at that point.
Different position though, man. That's why I was like...
Okay. Ledley King, just to finish on him, I think Rolls Royce of a centre-back. Maybe a few years ahead of his time in terms of what he could do with the ball. Again, I'd have picked him over John Terry, but it's what could have been with him more than anything else.
Yeah, I like that one. That's a good shout. For me, I'm going to go with... I've only got one midfielder in it at the moment. So I'm going to fill out my midfield. Next to Patrick Vieira. I'm thinking of this one player, but I don't know if I can do it. There's two players on my mind I can go for right now. Gerrard's been taken, so can't have him. I've used all my Chelsea picks. But you know what? It's probably a pragmatic midfield in this way. I'm going to go with Fernandinho in the midfield. I think he's been a very good, solid central midfielder. And really, when we saw Rodri come into the first season, he was looking poor under Pep. And it really did show when Man City were missing Fernandinho. And even still, he still gets a lot of game time. But Fernandinho, one of the most underrated signings that's come into the Premier League. And I think it's probably because he went to Manchester City. That's the thing. We kind of overlook him a lot of the time towards the end of his career also. But yeah, Fernandinho reads the game. Master of the tactical foul without getting a yellow card. And yeah, very good passer of the ball. Scores important goals too. Long ranges. And he was also quite good in the air for someone that's under 6 foot. So Fernandinho for me. And then Matt with a double pick.
All right, I'm going to put me centre-half in here alongside Vincent Kompany. And I'm going to go with Sol Campbell for Arsenal. Just absolute solid centre half. Like I could have went either way. I could have had Tony Adams in there as well. I was looking at him as well. Obviously, like just an absolute leader of a centre half. But Sol Campbell, and then I'm gonna put this fella right left back, but I don't want to put him in my team whatsoever. I actually hate the fella, but it's Andy Robertson for Liverpool at left back.
That's a good shot.
He's one of those players that if he's on your team, you love him to bits, but if he's not on your team, you despise him. And it's just he is obviously like Leighton Baines was my first choice, and then obviously Ashley Cole was taken. So third on my list is Robertson, but in fairness, he's in the middle of his career, and he's won most things now as well with Liverpool. And the fact that he was bought for like £4 million off Hull City, so you can't take it away from him that he's probably one of the best left backs in the league at the moment, if not the best left back in the league at the moment. So Andy Robertson left back and Sol Campbell centre half for me.
Sol Campbell,
great shout. That's a great shout. Player. I'm just having a look at. I've got to think of this tactically now. So he's picked his strikers. Brush has still got one striker left.
So what have we all got left? I've one centre midfielder left. I'm going 4-4-2. I've one centre midfielder left and a left winger left and a manager to pick.
I've got my fullbacks and a centre midfielder to get.
Okay. Yeah, I've just got a centre back, one of my forwards. Is that it? I don't know. And a goalkeeper. I've left the goalkeeper out as well.
Yeah, I haven't got my keeper.
Yeah. And and the manager.
I've got my right back, my right winger, and my striker plus a manager. So right side really, right side of that pitch. And for me, am I going to go with my right midfielder? Nah, I'm going to go with my striker because I'm scared he's going to go. And it's on that similar sort of page as you, Brush, where you had that 2 amazing seasons, Bale, when you said for Bale. It's got to be Luis Suarez. Luis Suarez, ridiculous. The ability, Not once again, he fits in the same mold as Tereak. Not a nice man.
Yeah, it goes
Yeah.
without saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, you can't really argue with that pick, can you? Especially that partnership he had with Sturridge as well.
Yeah,
And there's another one for the list of what could have been if not for injuries.
Yeah.
If Suarez had been in the league for another maybe 2 or 3 years, he'd be up there one of the best strikers the Premier League has ever seen. Like.
Exactly. Norwich hated the sight of him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
So are you playing Henry right wing then? The right side of a front three then?
No, left.
So you're not doing Ronaldo left now?
No, left. No, 4-4-2. He's 4-4-2.
Are you going 4-4-2?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So then she
might edge you up, man.
Whoa. But King, no one has picked Essien or Xabi Alonso.
Wow.
Ooh.
Have I used all my Liverpool players up? I don't think I have I? Because Xabi was on my list.
Was he?
Yeah.
No, you haven't used your Liverpool players.
There we go. So right next to Steven Gerrard is the player that made him even better. Xabi Alonso.
Quality. Ridiculous. Even the way he retired was just pure
I'll
class.
be honest with you guys as well. I think I've got the best looking team. Beckham, Alonso. That's probably just those two, but you know.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Great shout, Xabi Alonso. Loved him as a player.
Also on Xabi Alonso, can you believe there was a time when Rafa Benitez tried to sell him to buy Gareth Barry?
Do you know Gareth Barry had a weird magical touch over people, because you remember the 2010 World Cup, everything hinged on whether Barry was going to be fit.
Yeah,
Gareth Barry was brilliant. Super midfielder,
great midfielder, but not
very underrated player, Gareth Barry.
But it's just it's only in comparison to Xavi. It's a sticky one. But no, he was a great player. Moved around a lot as well. It took him a while to really find his position.
He was brilliant for Everton.
I think he might have been a centre back or a left back when he first started out under John Gregory at Aston Villa.
Yeah, he was a left back. Left back, and he came through. I remember they did a big thing on him in Match of the Day, and he was playing left back, and then he got shunted around a lot. Very good player. Has he got the most appearances in the Premier League? Or he did at one point, didn't he?
I think he does. I think he holds it.
He got it for West Brom, I think, when he was playing West Brom. I think when they got promoted, I think he had like 2 or 3 more games left to go, and they got promoted. And I don't think they were going to renew his contract. I think they gave him another year.
Has he got the most red cards as well? Has he? Was that someone else?
I don't know.
I know he's got.
That's Xhaka, man.
It just feels like it. I think that's what.
Yeah, probably.
Do you know what? Vieira's probably high on that list.
Probably.
I'll look it up while brushing.
Well, Brush. So
right.
You got your 2 picks now.
Yeah. 2 picks left. No one's picked Vidic, have they?
No. I ran out of Man United.
Right, okay. Yeah, I'm going to partner Stan with Vidic. So that's my 2 United gone and centre back.
Every striker is running scared.
Yeah. 2 madman at the back like that. Yo.
Shearer and Rooney against Vidic and Stan.
Just a fight.
Yeah, so when Vidic partnered Rio, obviously Rio was like the more elegant one and kept it a bit classy, but you're not going to get that with Stam. Stam could do that and headbutt you. So it would be quite deadly that.
The only thing I will bring up with Vidic is Fernando Torres tore him a new one.
You know what? People say this, right? When you actually go back and break it down, it wasn't over that many games.
Yeah. Plus Fernando Torres. Fernando Torres was a shout as well for Premier League strikers. Like he's very good.
And Drogba. No one said Drogba yet.
Yeah. I was thinking that with Torres or Liverpool, but I thought that Suarez's peak was better than Torres in that way. But Torres probably had it over at Liverpool for a few years.
Yeah, no, there was definitely a time. There was a 2-year period where Fernando Torres looked unbelievable.
He's one of the best strikers in the world.
Yeah, led Spain to the Euros as well in 08.
Oh wait,
yeah, and then it all went south when he moved to Chelsea.
Yeah, I think that's probably what kind of leaves a little bit of a sour taste, isn't it, into mouths.
I think any striker that's apart from Drogba, any striker that's gone to Chelsea in the last 10 years struggles.
Yeah, really, they've had a history of struggling strikers.
Yeah. Lukaku's tried it twice and he's still struggling. So. Or 3 times.
Poor guy didn't get a really fair shot the first time, did he?
No.
Yeah. Right, for my second pick, I'm going to finish off. Going to be a bit tactical here, so I'm going to lock in Riyad Mahrez.
Oh my days! That was my
Leicester City.
That was my next. Oh,
Leicester City.
I'm struggling. Now, Brush, you've taken too many of my picks, man. That's one that goes under the radar. Leicester City. I mean, he scored like 20 goals as well, didn't he? In that different.
And I'm happy.
Like 15 of those goals were the exact same way. He just put it in the left side and bang.
It's a bit like Robin, isn't it? You know what he's going to do, but you still can't stop it.
Can't stop it.
Oh man, I'm struggling now. My 2 right wingers are gone.
So is it me? Just say right. Red cards. There's 3 players that have got 8. One of them's been mentioned. Duncan Ferguson, Big Dunk.
Richard Dunn. Is he up there?
Richard Dunn and Patty V. And then Roy Keane's on 7.
Roy Keane, wow.
Yeah, he's not been picked either. But again, I think it's mostly just because
this is a hard draft.
It's due to the cap on how many we can have from each team. I think everyone's just been really tactical. That's why
you have to be. Yeah, because if like a lot like people watching it will like, if they don't know the rules, they'll be thinking, what's this? How are you picking this person over that? But you can't like who'd you rather have, Henry and Vieira? Or...
Yeah, if we did honourable mentions, we'd be doing this until tomorrow, wouldn't we?
But it's one of those, though. I think at the end, when we've all got our teams up, we can definitely have a little chit chat.
Yeah, definitely. So, I need my 2 fullbacks and my goalkeeper. I think that's all I need now. I mean, you're all screwed because I've got Sir Alex, so I'm going to win because I've got the best manager. So, obviously, Ashley Cole's my first choice left.
Not just that, you've got the most time to win a game.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, man. I'm going to secure my off the radar. I think for me, my left back, I'm going to go with Ian Hart from Leeds.
Interesting.
Massively underrated left back.
Quality left back. Amazing at set pieces. Tall enough to deal with crosses. Good player. Very wonderful left foot. Left back. Very, very good player. In a very good Leeds team.
Missed that penalty against Spain in the World Cup.
Yeah, great at set pieces. He was very good in that Leeds team. Again, the one that made us that semi-final under David O'Leary.
Yeah,
there was a lot of good players in that team.
Yeah, Harry Kewell, that we've not probably touched on either. He's a very good player.
Yeah, and the man who partnered Rio Ferdinand as well, Lucas Radebe.
Yeah,
what a player he was.
Yeah,
very true.
Mark Viduka up top.
So lazy, but loved it. He was amazing, wasn't he?
Robbie Keane had a fruitful spell there.
Yeah, he did.
He was good.
Amongst other teams. I think he's playing for the whole of the Premier League at this stage.
Yeah.
So I think
right, Tereak, let's go,
all I've
man.
got left is a right back and a keeper.
I'm picking my manager because I can't think of my right midfielder. I'm picking Jurgen Klopp for my manager. I'm going to pick Jurgen Klopp. Pound for pound, amazing. And it's a shame that he's come up against a juggernaut in Man City because he would definitely have more titles to his name. And for what he's done in the Premier League to carry this Liverpool side and challenge toe to toe with City. Yeah, ridiculous. And he set the pathway for a lot of other clubs in how Arsenal want to operate now in terms of that self-sustaining model, just having a top manager and system and getting players of that caliber. Even just taking that next step. That's what we got to do now, and that's how we can compete with these money monsters. So yeah, Jurgen Klopp for me as gaffer. Matt, you got your 2 picks whilst I'm still trying to fit my right mid.
Right, so I think I have 3 left. I think my manager, one midfielder and one left winger. So I'll leave my manager because I guarantee none of you are going to pick my manager because I just did it for the laugh basically.
I think
my midfielder, you know who it is. My midfielder is Luka Modric.
Oh,
put him in.
Hey, that was my shout. Did I tell you that on the phone earlier, Ed?
No, I didn't even have him on the list. That's the second time now.
Great shout, man. Great shout.
Luka Modric, he's in midfield there with Yaya Toure. Just pulling the strings, just one of those players, just gets about the pitch without even trying. And obviously he's got on to do unreal things at Real Madrid and winning the Ballon d'Or recently as well, didn't he? So yeah, he's in there midfield with Yaya Toure. And then to cap off my left hand side, I'm just gonna throw him in there, Damien Duff for Chelsea.
Yeah.
So my left hand side there, Robertson and Damien Duff overlapping, frightening pace. And Damien Duff was very underrated as well. Like he was kind of one of the first boys under the Abramovich era as well. I think they spent a lot of money on him as well. I think they got him from Blackburn, and I think it was like probably 17 million. But he was unplayable in that Chelsea team as well. And like he playing for Ireland as well. Like so, yeah, Damien Duff. I'm happy with my midfield there: Salah, Modric, Toure, and Damien Duff.
Yeah, good shout. Great shout. Ed, I'm going to ask a question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I change my player's position?
Yeah, of course you can. It's your team.
Yeah. All right. But
unless I'd say don't play Henry as goalkeeper, but it's up to you.
Nah, I'm not going to do that yet. I'm just thinking for this pick. I'm going to go with how many players are from this team.
If you're asking me that because of the other stuff, I can't do it.
No.
Half of these players don't exist.
I'm not on about that.
Things.
I'm on about in terms of just that.
Yeah, I can do it.
So I'm going to go on my right back now, and I'm going to go with Kyle Walker. Just edges it over Zabaleta for me, because from what he's going to do. And hey, if he wins the Premier League this season, how many Premier Leagues would that be now for Kyle Walker since he's come in? And he's been a key player. Yeah, ridiculous. Been a key player for all of them. João Cancelo could get above him if he does it for a period of time longer, I'd say, at some point. But yeah, Kyle Walker for me. I'm going for him at my right back position. And I think
Cancelo not left on the table, T?
It's not for long, because I've got.
Yeah.
Okay.
You going for Cancelo then?
I am. Yeah, that's my next pick.
Oh, now we can have a debate. Why'd you go for Walker instead of Cancelo?
It's longevity.
He's wrong.
No, Cancelo he's a better player than Kyle Walker.
So I'll rest my case.
Then why have you gone for Walker?
Because for longevity within the Premier League, Cancelo had a very poor first. Like since Kyle Walker was at Aston Villa, he was decent. And that was on loan. So he's done it for a long time. Whereas Cancelo struggled in his first season, and last season he was quite good. But this season he's been another level in a way. And I think with Cancelo as well, I do think there is weaknesses defensively in his game. There is 1v1 defending. Like Kulusevski had him on ropes in that game. So yeah, and I've seen Arsenal Martinelli go I know Martinelli did to Trent as well. But yeah, I do think there's weaknesses in his game. But going forward, yeah, different level.
It's my pick next, isn't it? I am going to go with João Cancelo, but two honourable mentions, and not just because Matt's here. Gary Kelly and Tony Hibbert. I had them both on the list for proper old-fashioned right-backs.
Listen, if you want longevity, Tony Hibbert's your guy.
He's still playing, Do you know he's still playing?
He came back, he's back playing, yeah.
He's playing like the 8th tier of French, because he's got a place down in France where he does his fishing.
Oh, wow, he must be somewhere in his 40s now.
Yeah, he's older than me, and I'm 37. So
he never scored a goal, and he scored a goal in his testimonial against.
I saw that.
Free kick. Yeah.
So they're both on my list, Gary Kelly and Tony Hibbert. But yeah, I'm going to go with a little bit of recency bias and go for João Cancelo. Zabaleta's also very close.
There you go, right there.
So I think all I've got left now is my keeper.
Yeah. That's it for you, but Brush, you got one left as well?
Yeah, I've got keeper and a manager left. What keepers has anyone gone for? Who's off the table?
Van der Sar.
You've got Van der Sar. And is that it? No one else has
And
picked a keeper?
Check.
Check's gone as well. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so I can just talk you guys through the rest of it now. Because I did leave a Liverpool slot open, hoping to get Klopp, but then T took that.
So you're going to take Alisson now?
so let me get there. So then, obviously, the secondary choice. Looking at my team as well, obviously Pep would do wonders with this team, but I've already taken my City Max as well, and might be slightly outside the box, but this is a man who I admired. So my manager is going to be Sir Bobby Robson.
Okay.
When he came back to Newcastle, he did a wonderful job with them, even led them to Europe, competing in the Champions League. He worked with a young R9. So, in terms of getting the best out of young talent, he did that too. He was at Barcelona. He's travelled. He's experienced.
He took Ronaldo from PSV to Barca, right?
Yeah. There's not too many out there. There's not too many out there better than him. The experience and just a lovely bloke as well. It was very hard not to like him.
Yeah,
I met him once.
Yeah,
I met him at a Wolves Newcastle game, FA Cup. Wolves won 3-2. It was on Sky. It was a crazy game. He came around to the Wolves fans at the start of the game. Before, I was there. I was 16, 17, so I was there super early. And he just came and chatted with us. I asked him why he didn't put Steve Bull on in the semi-final in 1990. He didn't even remember which one Steve Bull was. He had a memory issue with names. Lovely fella. Absolutely lovely fella.
Yeah.
That's a great shout, Bush.
That's my manager. And obviously I have got T's already got there. So, I've got my Liverpool slot left and it's going to go to Alisson.
Yeah, like that shout. I think he'll be up there. From what you want from a keeper, his presence is just ridiculous. I mean, just last week when I played.
Yeah, like Karius now.
Yeah, obviously, once it's all done, we can run through the legendary goalkeepers of the Premier League. We're kind of sport for choice for keepers. That's why I left it till last. I wasn't too fussed. Whoever goes, there was always someone left. But him, in the modern age, doesn't come much better than Alisson overall.
Very true. Ed, you've got your last pick now?
I have, and it's a goalkeeper, and I'm going with Little Big Shea Given.
Good shout. Yeah, very good player. I like that one.
So that finishes off my team.
Newcastle Shea.
Newcastle Shea, he was even good when he was still at Villa or at Man City later on in his career.
Longevity as well, again, and just consistent throughout. There's quite a few, actually. There's a few.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, once you two pick your keepers as well, we'll go through some of them.
Yes, that's my team's done, dusted.
Your team's done, dusted, and you know what? I'm left with this now. I'm left with this dilemma. This is what I wanted to do. Okay, can I move Ronaldo out to the right? Yeah. And
that's where he should have been in the first place.
Yeah. And this guy, for me, he gets hated. He still does. He's not the most. He's a bit like Salah in this way, but I've got to go with Sterling, Raheem Sterling. I think he'll get there. Still very young in his career compared to a lot of these other guys. But yeah,
I think he's still only 27. He's just been around forever, isn't he?
Yeah. He's not as old as you think. The only thing with your team, T, is I'm going to say is the fullbacks are screwed. Ronaldo and Sterling aren't going that way.
To be fair, Sterling goes a lot. I think you have to play for Man City. You do, to be fair. But Ronaldo definitely doesn't. I put Ronaldo on the right, so Kyle Walker's. Kyle Walker has got the pace to come back anyway. But yeah, Sterling.
And 08. Well, I mean, no, Ronnie's tracking back, but 08 Ronnie.
Yeah. No way, no. So that's my team done.
Yeah. Last pick was the first pick. Matt?
I think I'm just looking at my team here. I think do I still have an Arsenal pick, Ed?
Yep. So
and then I'm just gonna go. So I'll just go. My manager's Arsene Wenger. Then has to be
nice.
So I did have written down here. I definitely had I had Kevin Keegan written down here as my manager. Just for that,
I love that.
Just for that bit where he was like, I would love it if we beat them. Just that iconic Premier League moment. But I think the fact that Arsene Wenger's fallen into my lap there, I have to put him as my manager of my team. So yeah, Arsene Wenger.
Here we go, guys. I've
For obvious reasons.
Just put it into the chat now, so you guys get voting whilst we just discuss some. Well, we discuss our teams first. Should we go through positions each?
Yeah. Let's start with the keepers.
Yeah, we'll start with the keepers. So Matt, you ended it off, and you went with Edwin van der Sar in goal. Top goalkeeper shout. Did anyone go for Schmeichel?
No.
Nope.
No.
Nobody went for Schmeichel. That's interesting. But
Or Seaman.
I think nobody went for Schmeichel because I think we all thought somebody would.
Yeah.
And we'd end up with nobody. So I think that's probably why nobody went for him. But obviously he's up there, like so.
Yeah, would you say he's the best?
One of the best. I think it's so hard to just say out and out best ever because obviously 3 decades
Currently,
of football.
Yeah,
there's a lot of players, aren't there? And and Matt mentioned it as well. Like 20 odd years ago, the game was different. So sort of you have to sort of break it down into 10-year blocks.
Yeah.
So definitely up there as one of the greats.
The only real problem with Schmeichel, if you are to do the would he playing in this era, he could, but his kicking game wasn't great. He could throw it to the halfway line, so maybe you could argue he didn't need to. but yeah, he was an incredible shot stopper.
Had great leadership qualities.
Yeah,
he did get chipped once or twice though.
He did.
Yeah, he'll have nightmares about that.
Philippe Albert, Suker.
Exactly that. And who was my goalkeeper? I went with Petr Cech. Yeah, longevity as well. I think with Petr Cech, I will say this though, he did play for a Chelsea side that was defensive in a way, though they played upon pragmatism. But Petr Cech, you can't stop it. He was decent with his feet for his time. He kind of got showed out towards the end of his career at Arsenal. But yeah, just solid goalkeeper from crosses, huge saves. And I think the thing with the injury for me is what really levels it up. How players respond after a big injury. Because how many times have we sat here, guys, and said, like for Ledley King, for example, but like all certain players, how many, like how much can we, really give in terms of that? And what player he would have been.
By the way.
Oh no, there's some big players that were missed. There's some huge ones.
In terms of goalkeeper as well, just on that, obviously we've mentioned the top ones, but there have been some amazing ones, just longevity-wise as well, and who don't get the love. So shout out to people like Brad Friedel, Neville Southall, Nigel Martin, Neil Sullivan, David James.
Shay Given.
Shay. I think David James probably has the leading appearances for a goalkeeper in the league.
Yeah, he did.
I think so. Yeah.
Nigel
Martin was a great player.
Yeah, Nigel Martin was great. Neil Sullivan at Wimbledon, he was underrated.
Doesn't Brad Friedel have like the longest consecutive run? I think that's what it is.
Yeah, most games played in a row or something.
Yeah. There was one or two others as well. Jaskalainen. Was great. Carlo Cudicini for a little while at Chelsea was
Peter's son.
Casper.
Jens Lehmann.
Jens Lehmann's one that goes under the radar. He doesn't get the respect he deserves. He was good. He was good.
Pepe Reina as well. Did you mention him?
I didn't mention him. Yeah. Pep Reina's
decent. And then who was your goalkeepers, guys? Ed and Brush.
I went with Shay Given.
I went with Alisson.
Yeah, good. It'll be interesting. Right backs. What was that? So? Who would you say? Who would you guys say in the panel? Who wins it in the goalkeeper department?
I don't think you can pick.
I don't think you can pick just like that. I think you have to look at the team as a whole. If we're picking individually, I'm going with Matt because Van der Sar all day for me.
Yeah.
Fairs. Yeah. And then I'll
go with Brush and just say Matt wins. Yeah.
And what about the defense now for yours, Matt? What was your defense?
Azpilicueta, Sol Campbell, Vincent Kompany, and Andy Robertson.
Interesting.
So
yeah,
solidness and a bit of pace there as well. So
it's not a bad back for that.
Yeah, I think we've gone for a similar formula there, Matt. where you've got a nice balance of attacking and just solid defensively.
Yeah, exactly that. And then mine was Leighton Baines at left back, Rio, Terry, Walker. All English as well. English back line. Solid. Ferdinand's probably the most elegant one, the flashy one there. Leighton Baines, very good in set pieces. John Terry, just, solid. And you can't really argue with what he's achieved in his career, being such a key player for Chelsea. And then Kyle Walker, yeah, mainly because of his achievements, I would say. And for Kyle Walker, for what he's going to end up with in his career, in his trophy cabinet. And that's it. If he gets a Champions League in there as well, he's laughing. And then for Ed's, he's got Hart, King, VVD, and Cancelo. So you got really going through the Premier League eras there. That's Premier League years.
Mine's a mix.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that though. I've got two fullbacks that get forward and two centre backs that are good on the ball that can love defending. That's a good back four for me.
Definitely.
You can tell Ed's in his 30s anyway, man. That's for sure.
Yeah. And then some of the things that did go through my head, obviously, because we're doing it tactically, and you need to play the game. But some that I did have on my list, Marcel Desailly was a fantastic centre back for Chelsea.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the fact that it would, take away that Chelsea slot, Desailly would have been in there somewhere. He was great. Tony Adams as well goes under the radar. Did the double with Arsenal. It's very unlucky not to make any of our teams. What a player he was. Leader of men.
100%.
I've got Carvalho as well.
Yeah, Ricky Carvalho. Again, when we talk about defensive partnerships, him and Terry are right up there.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Just looking at the vote so far, I've got 0%. Russia's got 57% winning, Ed 12, and Matt second with 38%.
Take that.
In terms of the right backs, I know Gary Neville gets a lot of praise. He doesn't make any list of mine. As in, if I didn't go for Trent, it probably would have been. Overall, I probably would have gone for Aspie, to be honest with you. I think he's the best overall, and longevity. He's got everything. He's got a bit of everything. Gary Neville,
guys, so get voting for me. He's in my team.
Gary Neville, I think he was. I think it's unfair to call him a passenger, but he was a working part in a team where all the other things were just elite. I don't think you can put him into many other teams, and I don't think he's pulling up trees.
And that's breaking news there. Italy are out by North Macedonia. Wow.
Whoa.
That's huge. Crazy. As if England lost to that. Come on, I'm checking.
Right back options.
What's this?
What else is happening now?
Oh, I'm seeing a Man United badge there on Matt's screen.
Honourable mentions as well, similar to the Gary Neville mold, but obviously he gets mentioned because of his longevity in the game and whatnot. Lee Dixon goes under the radar.
Yeah, good player.
Lee Dixon was a good player. Again, he was one of those, he was like Ronsil. Does exactly what it says on the tin. Yeah. Nothing exceptional, but he did his job.
I had Dennis Irwin on my list as well.
And he did it well. Dennis Irwin as well, yes, for the left back position.
You can play left back, right back.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Take free kicks, take penalties.
Set pieces as well, yeah. Yeah, longevity.
100%.
Tariq, was that a Man United badge on my screen when I put my camera on?
Yeah, it was a Man United badge. Look, we'll get into that. We haven't even...
right back, Seamus Coleman as well, honourable mention.
Yeah, very consistent. And do you know what? Even today, he's still... you can't really see there's a real weakness to his game as well with Seamus Coleman.
60 grand. 60 grand is all he cost.
Yeah, fair play to Seamus Coleman. And then into the midfields now for everyone. So what did you have, Matt? You had...
Salah on the right.
Oh, yeah, Salah on the right.
4-2-2. 4-2-2, so Salah on the right, which I wasn't too sure about, to be fair, in a 4-4-2. I think he's kind of a player that needs 4-3-3. I think they were talking about it there the other day about Salah potentially leaving Liverpool, and I think the Liverpool system suits Salah, and if he went to another team, he mightn't be the player that he is. But just for this, I had to put Salah in my team, and then I had Luka Modric, Yaya Toure, and Damien Duff on the left. So
The votes are swinging, you know. It's swinging. Matt's winning now with 50% and Brush with 42%. And then Ed with 8%. I'm still stuck on 0.
It just looks like one person's voted for me.
Well, none have voted for me, so it's all right.
Yeah.
Ed, have you got that tactical thing as well on screen to show the teams?
No, because a lot of these players weren't on there. I tried.
Oh, okay.
But weirdly, Wayne Rooney wasn't even on there. It was some guy called John Rooney. Was the only Rooney I could find. So
there you go. And then my midfield was there you go. Thanks. I had Vieira, Fernandinho in the partnership in the middle, with Ronaldo on the right and Sterling on the left, right there. Solid base in the middle, right there for me. Because I'm looking at them two. I can't see any weakness in those games. And in a midfield 2, you need to go up and down, don't you? Really, you need to be able to have that box to box midfield partnership, and I think they can both do that. Physicality wise, aggression in there, and that's why I went for Fernandinho, because I could have went for a Kevin De Bruyne or someone like that, but I just didn't think it would work in a 4-4-2 with this side. Because if I went with the Kevin De Bruyne, Ronaldo, Sterling, and then my 2 strikers, hang on, I've only got 1 striker there. Luis Suarez, that was my other striker.
So you deserve a vote there, Tereak, for that midfield. To be fair, somebody vote for Tereak there.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you. 1 vote, please. I can't end this on 0%. But then Ed's midfields, yeah.
I mean, look at that. That is balanced.
Xabi Alonso, Gerrard.
Xabi Alonso and Gerrard. What more do you need to say? That won the Champions League. Pires, mercurial left winger, and David Beckham putting things on a sixpence for anyone. That is a balanced midfield. I would argue that's the most balanced midfield out of all of them.
Hell no. Absolutely not. Listen, that Liverpool team had Igor Bishkan in it and Vladimir Smica. It was more so AC Milan just fumbling it than them being exceptional.
True. Yeah. And then,
if you want balance, look at my midfield.
I think, do you know what? Because you got Makelele.
I've got Makelele, I've got Fabregas, and I've got Silva, who is then going to link up with Aguero.
That's unreal, that midfield, Bruce.
Devastating. You've got
Fabregas and Silva.
You've pretty much got just everything that you need. Fabregas can do everything. Good ball progressor as well. Great vision. You've got Makelele to clean up everything, and he was the clog that won Real Madrid 2 out of 3 Champions Leagues.
Very true.
And the players like Zidane and Figo, they mentioned as well that if once he went, it was all over, because he's really what allowed them to do what it is that they do further up the field.
Yeah, totally.
So, yeah,
it's a very good midfield, in fairness. But in terms of this, terrible midfield, Brush.
Yeah, no votes for that. Exactly. And then the forwards, and then the forward line. You go with your forward line because you got the 3, haven't you? You got the 4-3-3.
Yeah.
Mahrez, Bale. You gone Bale on the left, yeah.
Yeah, Bale on the left, Mahrez on the right, and Aguero up top.
Yeah.
So when you just look at the full squad, everything just works. It connects.
If
everything's just in sync.
If I was to rank your team, I'd probably say your weakest area is probably your attack line, but that's because of how good your defense and midfield is.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
I mean?
But you need to,
of course.
Yeah. But that's the thing, though, team. With my team, in a 4-3-3, goals are coming from everywhere, mate.
Yeah, you got goals from Fabregas. Yeah, Silva can pop up with a few. Bale,
listen, Makelele's probably the only one that's not really going to contribute, and he doesn't need to.
Yeah.
No, that's not his job.
Yeah, but TAA with the assists and just stick Cole as
you got TAA and Mahrez as well, and yeah.
Terrible game.
And then we go for Ed, and then you're
just the comments were we're getting called out for not. You can't pick everyone, guys.
Yeah. Who are we getting called out for? I can't see the comments, by the way. So.
Right. We'll bring them up now. We'll bring them up. So Cantona, right there.
Right.
There's a pick. Where would Cantona
Cantona was great, but you wouldn't fit him into a starting 11 with the amount of players we had, and like you say,
yeah.
there was better Manchester United players.
Yeah, it would have to be different excuse me, it would have to be different rules in order to fit some of these players in. Obviously, Cantona's are great, but
me and Ed have got hot takes on Giggs, but yeah, you probably won't want to hear that, Moss.
Now Scholes, he's my favourite player I've ever seen play football in my entire life, but I couldn't get him into my team because I wanted Ferguson.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised he wasn't picked up, but you can only pick 2 from each team.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, looking at my team, it was either David Silva or Paul Scholes there to take up that spot. And I'm quite happy. And yeah, it probably played a part that I chose Aguero up front for that connection. So,
yeah, I had Giggs on my left hand side, but then Bruce chose Aguero, so I had to put Rooney in there with Van der Sar, so I couldn't pick Giggs. So then I had to put Duff in. So it was that's the whole problem with it.
Yeah.
Honorable mention.
That was left field, Duff. I'm surprised you didn't go for Robben. Did you?
I would have had Robin. I would have had Robin on the right hand side.
Right.
Nice.
So Duff all day. I was right. It was right, Robin or Salah. So
yeah. Honorable mention for the left hand side as well. Another one. We have to put these disclaimers out because these people are just dickheads.
That is the point.
Mark Overmars.
Yes.
Yeah.
He came to Arsenal, and what an impact he had. He scored at Old Trafford as well on the way to just you guys doing the double, and the impact it was mad.
Yeah, Lundberg as well. Another.
Freddie Lundberg was another great player.
Yeah.
Who had Perez? Was it you, T?
Yeah, I got Perez.
Oh, yeah, you got Perez. It's a shame that I was hoping one of the teams would have Perez and Henry. That link up would have been crazy because
that was my plan. They were my two. They were my two Arsenal, but
exactly. Alexis Sanchez was up there as well as a left winger. Shout. Yeah, I had him on my list as well.
Left wing's kind of a difficult. It's kind of like the left back situation. There's not loads that stand out.
And that's why I started off with Ashley Cole. I just thought, you know what, it's a position where there's a few players. I mean, Patrice Evra, Irwin, but I wanted to just go and get the best in that position because he was just immense. When we're talking about in the world as well, he's right up there with the best of them.
Exactly. And I just want to say with Alexis Sanchez, I've always had this question in my head. If Alexis Sanchez wasn't the best player in the team, would he be that great? Because I see Alexis in a way. He could do wonderful things, amazing things, but he was allowed to do that because he was the best player in the team by a mile.
And you obviously build around your best, don't you, to facilitate them?
Yeah.
And he did that to devastating effect, to be fair.
Just one that came into my head there when we were talking about it as well, actually, Mascherano for Liverpool.
Yes, he was fantastic. Carlos Tevez, another one.
Matt Letizia.
Matt Letizier's a great player.
Yeah.
Matt Letizia was great.
Questionable since finishing playing some of his views. But what a player.
Peter Beardsley, Paul Gascoigne. I thought about Gazza.
Yes.
But so many of them, even like Tim, like people probably wouldn't remember him, whatever. Like Tim Sherwood, captain in Blackburn as well, the Premier League in '95.
They turned down the chance to sign Zidane because they had Sherwood.
Yeah.
And King's asking how high these players: Berbatov, Tevez, KDB, Hazard, Sanchez, Ruud van Nistelrooy, Drogba, Giggs, etc. Drogba is one of them ones.
Ruud would have been in my team as well. Only for you can only pick two United.
Yeah, exactly. And again, it's all about these relationships and that as well. So if you've got a David Beckham, then it makes sense to stick a Ruud van Nistelrooy up there.
I'm disgusted now that I've seen that because Hazard gets into my team over Damien Duff all day.
You've had an absolute there.
Yeah, man. If we check the votes, Matt's still winning. Oh man,
I'm pretty sure my one vote's from my wife. I think that's all I've got. Hey, mine's a pity vote.
Hey, Mum, can you vote for me? Come on, I've got 0 out here. But KDB, I think with KDB though, when it's all said and done, where do you think he will be?
A very, very good player.
Very
good player. Consistent as well, and that's one of the key things.
Tereak, in 10 years' time, when we do this draft again, KDB will be in the team.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
I think so. Berbatov.
I wasn't a fan of Berbatov. I've got quite strong views on Berbatov.
Yeah.
He was a bit sometime-ish for me.
Yeah, I understand.
I mean, a lot of people mistook it for just laziness, but he wasn't lazy. He just had a languished, lethargic style. Like his first touch was amazing. I was against it just because at the time it just didn't suit our style. I just didn't see the logic in bringing him in, and the way he played as well. Like that team was just set up to counter you. And that front three of Tevez, Rooney, and Ronaldo, defenders didn't know who to pick up. Like they would all just interchange and were just marauding attackers. And Tevez just changed that whole dynamic. You try and play a counter through him. He would then slow the play down and then place the ball back out to the wide and then make that late run into the box, only to mess up the chance half the time.
Exactly. Yeah, very good point. And do you know, I'm going to ask you guys this because you guys would have a better understanding of Michael Owen, Ballon d'Or winner, versus Suarez.
Oh, different kinds of players. Yeah, but I mean, that's very different.
If Michael Owen had stayed fit, he'd be up there in like probably top 5 strikers. Just
his career sort of went in reverse, didn't it? Like, because it was so exciting, man. To see him at 18, it was unbelievable.
The pace of him.
Yeah. And the finishing as well.
The finishing as well.
Scoring goals. He absolutely loved scoring goals. He was ruthless. He was
while we're talking about Owen, footballer. Robbie Fowler, another one we haven't mentioned. Andy Cole as well goes well under the radar. 188 goals in the Premier League, and he didn't take penalties.
Exactly that. And guys, we're gonna wrap it up here because we're nearly going for 2 hours, 1 hour and 50 minutes. But what we'll do is we'll run through everyone's team again. I'll let you have the honors, guys, of reading your team out. But we'll start off with you, Matt. You had the first pick.
Yeah. So, who was Arsene Wenger was my manager. Van der Sar in nets.
What was the formation, Matt?
4-4-2. So Azpilicueta on the right hand side. Andy Robertson on the left hand side, Sol Campbell and Vincent Kompany centre halves. On the right hand side of the midfield, I had Salah. Left hand side, Hazard. Damien Duff. Damien Duff on the left hand side. Modric and Yaya Toure in midfield, and up top Shearer and Wayne Rooney, which I'm very happy with up front. So yeah,
great shout.
Happy with that team.
There you go. And then for me, I went with Petr Cech in goal, Chelsea Petr Cech. I had Leighton Baines at left back, Rio Ferdinand, John Terry as my centre backs, and Kyle Walker as my right back. On the left wing, I got Sterling, and the midfield, Fernandinho, Vieira, and on the right, Ronaldo. 42 goals across all competitions, Ronaldo. And then up front, I've gone with the king himself. So I've got the greatest player to ever play, and I still didn't get a vote for that. So I flopped big time here. I must have flopped big time. And then Luis Suarez.
It's not a bad team. It's only in comparison to ours.
It wins a league. I can say that.
Listen. Which one of our teams doesn't win a league?
I know. Exactly.
Yeah.
Ed?
Yes, I got Shea Given in goal. Quality shot stop keeper. Got my fullbacks, Ian Hart, João Cancelo. They're just going to maraud, do what they want. I've got 2 Rolls-Royce centre-backs. In this version of life, Ledley King's knees are fine.
Yeah. I was going to say, your centre-back doesn't play.
Him and VVD at the back. Then my midfield, I'm still arguing it's balanced in a 4-4-2. Xabi Alonso, Steven Gerrard, Bobby Pires, and Bex. And then up front, I've got the Bergkamp, one of the best number 10s that's ever lived, and Harry Kane, clinical striker. And my manager has won the Premier League the most, Sir Alex Ferguson.
To be fair, the manager probably tips it in terms of, like, he could win with anyone. He could win with Anderson and Cleverley in the middle. So with Gerrard and Xabi Alonso, that's crazy.
Yeah, he probably could. The thing is, Alex Ferguson probably couldn't win with that team because they're too good. He needed to have a bad player.
Yeah. I hear that. And Brush.
Yeah, so we start with Alisson in goal. Need I say more? It's probably one of the best in the world currently. Overall, I'd put him there. My left back is, again, in his prime, the best in the world. Won it all with Chelsea. Centre-back partnership, I've got Vidic next to Yapstam. again, Yapstam, the 3 years he was with us, we won the league title all 3 times, including a treble in 1 year. So yeah,
he's really selling this team, lads. Isn't he? He's really selling it.
Trent Alexander-Arnold on the right hand side, probably one of the best right backs in the world currently, and his numbers are absolutely ridiculous as well. By way of assists, goals scored, set pieces, all of that. My midfield, I already mentioned the balance of the midfield with Fab, Silva, and Makalele. The way the team's set up as well in that 4-3-3, I think everything just works. Everyone complements each other. The pace up front is absolutely frightening, with Bale and Mahrez on the wings, and with a prime Aguero up top to finish those chances off. My manager, Arsene Wenger was definitely one that I'd looked at as well, and I could have gone for him. But yeah, this one, I just really like Sir Bobby. And I wanted to find a way to stick him in there because he was just such a lovely guy. You couldn't help but love him. The interviews, he was just always smiling. With that Newcastle team that he took over as well, they were struggling before he came. They went for a really bad patch. I remember when Ruud Gullit was there and he had dropped Alan Shearer, which was really controversial at the time. I think it was against Sunderland.
Where
it was pissing down with rain. And he finally gave in and brought him on as a sub, but it was too late, I think. So that sealed Ruud Gullit's fate, and they were in a really bad way. And then he came and really changed the culture at that club and tried to get them up that league. Kieran Dyer was one of the young ones that he tried to develop, and he's another one on the list of what could have been. He had bags of potential. Jermaine Jenas, brought him through as well from Nottingham Forest. Although it's probably debatable now if that was a good thing or not, because we're stuck with him on telly now. That's my team. There's not too many things I would change that. No. For me, overall, it works.
Quality there. Guys, thank you so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure. And thank you to everybody in the comments for sticking through. I really have enjoyed it. Thank you so much to the guests. And you know what? This is now their time to shine and let the people know where they can find you. And we'll start off with, who went first in the pick as well. Matt, thank you so much for coming on, my bro, and sticking through as well. Let the people, I think he's froze here. Can you hear me, Matt?
It's a lovely picture.
I think Matt's froze, but yeah, we'll come back to Matt. We'll come back to him if he's still here. But Brush, thank you so much, my bro.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Obviously, you'll see me in chat and that right here most of the time. But you can find me on Twitter at Brushy87, all capitals.
There we go, Brushy87. Go follow him on Twitter, people. Matt's still frozen. Edmin, thanks for coming on, bro. You're my co-host. Let the people know where they can find you.
Here. Always here, especially preview show. Though next Wednesday, the Tereak Talks quiz. We've got a panel, and guys in the chat, you're going to be getting your shout outs. The panel won't see the comments. It's all with me, so I'm going to do it. And I'm just going to click on that there because that is all I need. So that wasn't even my wife included that voted for me. So.
Big up King, man. Big up King. But yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, guys, do stay tuned. Make sure you click that notification button, that bell. Click that bell. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Get in the comments. Let me know your team with this stipulation. Big up everyone involved. Big up to yourself, CM. Big up to everyone. It's been a pleasure. But just letting for Matt, you can go find Matt on Twitter. Let me get his Twitter handle for you. 1 second. But you can find him on the Weekly Armchair Sports. He has a podcast every Monday on there. So if you type that in on YouTube, Weekly Armchair Sports, and his Twitter, just to shout him out, is Smithy, SMYTHY and 2 on Twitter. So thank you so much, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Before we sign out, sorry to interrupt you, but
that's all right.
I can't believe we made it through this whole stream without mentioning Gianfranco Zola.
That's before my time.
How can we not? So
retired his number. He was that good.
Yeah, amazing little player. It just popped into my head. I just had to mention it. JJ Okocha as well, and Janino. who we did mention. Who we did mention in the group chat.
I even have Gary Speed on my list.
Steve McManaman is another one.
Yes.
Yeah. I think King mentioned.
Steve,
was it Bobby?
Yeah. McManaman is the reason number 17 is my favourite number. I loved watching him play.
He was great. I loved it when he went to Real Madrid because, again, then I could actually admit that I liked him.
And he bothered to learn the language.
He did wonderful there as well. Very underrated spell.
Champions League.
Ed, I got a vote as well. 8%.
I know you did.
I got mob. Thanks.
how did it finish, by the way? What's the final score?
Matt's on 46, Tereak and me are on 8, and you're on 38. So I think it's literally one vote.
Fair enough.
One vote difference. But guys, thank you so much again. Love to you all, and I'll catch you tomorrow with Talking All Arsenal for all you Arsenal fans. Make sure you come in and stop by tomorrow. But love and peace, and we're out.